So the problem is that
But what if they offered me the scraps and sometimes the scraps, as I went to reach for them, walked out and didn't come back? Are daddy issues real? Because the term is thrown around in culture like, oh, she has daddy issues. It's typically she has daddy issues, isn't it?
so there's something called Oedipal development, which is sexual development. It's really relational development, but it's sexual development, which is that all little boys fall in love romantically with their mothers and want to marry them. So all little girls want to be daddy's little princess and marry daddy and want mommy to get lost. And so our first romantic relationships are with our opposite sex parent. So as a little boy, your first romantic relationships with your mother. As a little girl, your first romantic relationships with your father. If your opposite sex parent is not present at all, there's a loss there. So, sometimes what can happen is if you don't have a present father, or if your father is really just absent, or if he's physically present but emotionally absent, you spend your life looking for that kind of Oedipal connection, that kind of admiration, that kind of love, that kind of, for someone to love you in the way that a father loves a little girl. So the problem is that.
But what if they offered me the scraps and sometimes the scraps, as I went to reach for them, walked out and didn't come back? Then I might develop a relationship that it's not safe to trust the scraps because.
So that's a father who's negligent. But it still can leave that little girl with a strong desire to be loved in that way. So it's like there's a missing piece, right? So it becomes a missing piece for that child who then grows into that adult. You have to remember that children perceive of the relationship with their parent as loving, no matter what the parent does to them. So however we're raised, we perceive of that as love. The problem is if it's not healthy love, then we can neurotically repeat that in our adult lives.